La Pavoni.
La Pavoni. You sabotage the La Pavoni, so he can't use that anymore.
So like I said last night,
Yeah.
you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, Jeff.
You gotta get in there. Yeah. Pull that thing. Could sabotage it, so then he'll just have to go to the 58.
I like where your head's at.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Guys, check it out. I ran into Hoon. There's Kyle, and Daddy's got coffee. Oh, guys, check it out. It's Sal. I got Sal, Hoon, and Kyle all on the same shot. Get a picture with me. Holding the Slayer shot. And now check it out, guys. It's Morgan Drinks Coffee. I finally met Morgan.
Sounds good. That sounds perfect.
Thank you.
Hello!
Lance.
What's up?
How are you, man? I'm a
Doing
bit
well.
tired.
This is it?
I'm calling it.
You're done.
I'm calling
for
it.
life.
That's it. No.
This is your last
I hope
coffee.
I wake up tomorrow. I'm here with Mr. Pasado.
Hello, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Pasado, please make me the tamping station.
Done.
Hello friends, welcome back to our little coffee club. Today's my first video recording since I got back from Chicago and the SCA or Specialty Coffee Association Expo for 2024. I hope you guys like that little intro clip. We will talk about all of those different situations as we go here on the videos. I want to take this like little bite-sized clips and stories, I guess, as we move forward with the videos. I don't want to tackle like one big video into the Specialty Coffee Expo and talking about all of those things. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is pricing, okay? A little bit of my overall feeling on the show and everything that went on, and talk to you guys about the Flair crew, the Flair booth, where I had a lot of fun. I tried my very first Flair shot. As a matter of fact, it was my very first espresso from a manual lever style espresso machine. I have never had a shot from a manual espresso machine. So that's my very first one. We'll talk a little bit about that. Today we're also gonna pull a shot of espresso from a coffee that I brought back from the expo. I haven't even read the bag. I have no clue what it is. We'll just open it and take a look at the roast level and try to dial it in and pull a shot and see what it is. But before we get into all of that, I want to talk a little bit about temperatures. And again, that's just another thing that I think I'm going to tackle in little bite-sized little clips and not like do a whole entire video talking about temperatures and things like that. I think I'll just, today we'll start playing around with that. You guys let me know what you want to see, and I'll test specific things as we move forward in the upcoming videos. So in the next few videos, we're gonna be talking more about the show, more about temperatures. You guys let me know exactly what you wanna see. But the very next, I think the very next thing I will record will be the comparison as to the Niche Duo and the Niche Zero as they perform and what it is that they give you for filtered coffee. We already did the test for espresso, and I was not able to taste a difference. It was maybe minuscule at best. Okay, so but maybe as pour over, as filter coffee, maybe there'll be a difference there. So we'll talk about that on the next video for sure. I already did all the maintenance that I told you guys on the previous video to this one, which was just before going to Chicago and going to the show. I said I needed to lubricate the brew lever handle. I did that. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that in a bit. I cleaned out the two grinders completely, cleaned them. I changed the burr set on the Duo to the brew burrs. And we'll talk a little bit more as to all of that in a few minutes. But let's go over to the other counter and pull a shot of espresso. All right, guys. So before we get started, let's talk a little bit about temperatures. Something I've been wanting to get into ever since we recorded the video as to the Brew boiler temperature offset and temperature profiling promises of the Lelit Bianca. You know, I recorded that, and then I had thoughts as to, like, yeah, in theory that all sounds like great, right? But I don't think that's gonna work like that, because there's just no way in 30 seconds you're gonna change the temperature of all this thermal mass on the Bianca, the group head, everything. I mean, how is that gonna work? So we're gonna do a little bit of experimentation. The reason why I have you here on, first of all, on the kettle is because we're gonna check to make sure that the thermometer is working properly and all that stuff. I trust the kettle. It's set at 94. We should read something, I would say plus or minus 2 degrees, let's say. It might read 92, 93, 94, maybe 95, maybe 96, something like that. I don't think it'll be more often that. Ideally, you want to read 94, exactly what it says, but that's, again, in theory. Now, the kettle, I know it's pretty accurate. I live in Miami. I'm at sea level, okay? We have absolutely no elevation. So when I set it at 100, I kind of hear the water starting to boil. So I know that this thing is pretty accurate. So let's take a look. Here's the thermometer. Okay, it's just a digital thermometer. It's probably, it's a cheap thermometer. So I've used it before. I know it works, but we're gonna do this test first. And the only thing is that it is a little bit slow to react. Okay, so the numbers move kind of slow. But let's see. So I'm turning it on. You see, it's just it's a bit slow. Of course, I use Celsius because, the imperial system of measurements is just ridiculous. So let's go. We'll talk, maybe if I remember, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a little while. I have some thoughts. But, I mean, I have had thoughts my whole entire life. But maybe today I'll, talk to you guys about that. Okay, let's see. Let's get in there. Let's see what we got. Okay, you see it's moving up, but it is a bit slow. Okay, it's already, okay, we're at 94. Now I removed the cover. So maybe you need to have the cover there to be like really accurate. But look, we're reading 94, right at 94. So, and again, the temperature is dropping. I have a feeling that is happening because, again, I removed the cover. So in a little bit, maybe it's gonna kick on and you're gonna hear it trying to heat up back up to 94. But this proves that the thermometer is working, and that is pretty darn accurate, right? We are reading 93.6. I mean, we're right around 94. As a matter of fact, when I first put it in the water, it was 94. So this is pretty, oh, now you could hear it. So it just kicked on and it wants to come back up to 94. So the Felostag EKG is extremely accurate, guys. Now this has been proven. I had never done this test. I just, again, based because when I set it at 100, I hear the water boiling right away. I had a feeling this thing was gonna be fairly accurate, and you could see it there. It is. Okay, today we're not gonna make filtered coffee. We're gonna play with espresso, so I can turn it off. I don't wanna waste energy, and I'll leave that water in there for later. Usually, by the way, I mean, nobody has ever asked me, but the kettle, I always leave it empty. I uncover it and I allow it to dry, and I leave it, usually the cover it's off of it until it completely dries out. It takes, a couple hours or so, but I always take all the water out of it. Okay, so that's what happens with the kettle. Let's take a look at the Bianca. So let me move you guys here. All right, this angle should work for you guys. By the way, in a second, when we go to brew the coffee, I'll give you guys all the ambiance lighting and everything that I like doing. We'll get into that in a second. But first, we're gonna just keep checking these temperatures. Okay, so the machine has been on for maybe like an hour. So it should be completely like up to temperature. As a matter of fact, I already had it timed out, I think, a couple times. So it should be completely up to temperature. Let's see what we get. Where do we start? Okay, I'm gonna remove the portafilter, and I'm going to put some water in here. I think this is how we're gonna do it. Let me see, put the thermometer in here. Now this thing like times out like rather quickly. But all right, you see the Bianca set at 95, right? Let's put some water in here first of all and see what we get. Okay, I hope the thermometer doesn't like explode or something because water's gonna get on it like this, but it should be fine. Okay, it's upside down, but we're at 58, 60. Okay, it's moving up. Again, the thermometer's slow, guys, but I think I'm getting my point across. Although we're set at 95, I mean, we're at 73. Maybe it's gonna go up from there a little bit, but we're not gonna be nowhere near 95. I mean, I'll tell you that right now. That's it, guys. Maybe 74 is what we're getting. So that water is right out of the brew boiler and it's coming at 74. Again, everything's Celsius, guys. So, I mean, 74 in Fahrenheit is like room temperature, okay? So, that is hot, but again, 74, nowhere near 95. So do you think by setting this brew boiler offset to plus, I think it goes, let's find that out. Oh, and by the way, I have you on the wide angle camera, so things might look a little bit distorted, but I kind of need it for you guys to see everything that's going on. So I have you on the wide angle. It should still look all right. But it is, you know, things are a little bit, I mean, look at how big the niche duo looks like. It's not that big. All right, let me get this out of the way. Okay, so we're gonna get into the brew temperature offset. Let's see how high it goes. I think it was up, I did it once before, just for, you know, I wanted to know. I think it goes up to like plus or minus 12. Okay, so you get in with the minus and you toggle with the minus. Okay, 95, that's the brew boiler. This is the steam boiler. Okay, this is the brew temperature offset. So let's see how high it goes. You know, I forgot what all these menus have. I don't usually mess around with this too much. I like doing manual shots. Okay, so we have a plus 25. So let's leave it all the way up and see what kind of a difference we were what, 73, 74, something like that with no brew boiler temperature offset. So let me get this water out. Okay, let's start again. Now it's at a plus 25. Do we expect it to go up by 25? Come on, guys. That's never gonna happen. So let's see how high it does go. Okay, my intuition was maybe 1 degree or 2 degrees. So we were like 73, 74, something like that. If we get up to like 78, I'll be shocked. In 30 seconds, I'll be shocked. I'm gonna use the scale to time this thing. And we're gonna let it run for 30 seconds like a normal kind of shot. So let me see, can you guys see the scale there? Yeah, you can see a little bit of it. All right, so let's start the timer and run this thing for 30 seconds. Now let me start the thermometer. I forgot to open this all the way, but that doesn't matter. I mean, we already have a lot of water in there. Enough to take a temperature. Okay, so we're coming up on the 30 seconds. Now, wow, it got a lot higher than I thought I would get in 30 seconds. We got up to 80, and you could see it's still kind of trying to get the water even hotter. It's kind of leveling off, but it's still moving up. I mean, now it's been running for 45 seconds. We're up to 81. It does move up. So, okay, we're at 48. We moved up all the way to like 81. And before we were like at 74. Wow, it got higher than I was expecting. So it does work. Okay, it does work. And more than I thought, but obviously not what is promised. Not in a minute. But wow, it works better than I thought. Okay, so I was underestimating the capabilities of the Bianca. So, maybe some other people have as well. So, okay, so let's go now. Let me leave this paddle open. I forgot about that. Okay, so we ran it for like 45 seconds and we moved up by like 10 degrees. Okay, so I hope I recalled right, and I think we were like at 74. We got up to like 80, so they're like 6 degrees. 6 degrees of, you know, hotter water, and you know, I was expecting to maybe see half of that. Okay, let's reset things here. Get the scale back to 0. Okay, so now we're gonna go, you know, to less temperature. We'll do a minus. I think we went up plus 25. It should allow us to go to minus 25. So let's get back in there. Okay, low start, low final brew temperature offset. Okay, here we go. So hit the plus to get into it, and then start hitting the minus. Okay, usually I keep it at 0, so it doesn't do anything. All right, it should go all the way to minus 25. I thought it was 12, it's 25. Again, I don't hardly ever play with this thing. So there we are, minus 25. Okay, so previously we were at 74. Now let's see, when you put it at a minus 25, now in 30 seconds, you can expect a change of maybe, if you go to a plus 25, you can expect a change of maybe 5, 6 degrees, something like that, which is better than I was expecting. So let's see if we go to minus. All right, so let's do the same process and see what happens. Okay, let me move it a little bit off of there. Okay, now because we've been running this thing, it's no longer like at 74. I mean, this thing is like really hot. It hasn't had a chance to like cool down. So this minus 25, at least in this scenario, when you pulled like a hotter shot and then trying to get a cooler shot, it's not doing anything. I mean, is the temperature even trying to come down? No, we're kind of like steady there. Well, it is a little bit. Well, this will take forever. But if you go to minus, like hardly nothing's happening here. I mean, yeah, not much is happening. It's already been running for like a minute. You know, like, if you go to plus 25, you will get a difference. If you go to minus 25, you know, guys, I don't think anything's gonna happen. So as a control now, we're just gonna pull a regular shot and see where the temperature was here. Now I have a feeling this being a little bit confusing and all these numbers, I'm trying to record and paying attention to all these things. If I said the wrong thing, you'll either hear me say some kind of correction on a voiceover, or take a look at the, you know, sometimes I'll put subtitles on the screen so you guys know I made a mistake and I'm making things a little bit more clear. But again, if you have specific questions or something you want me to try, leave me a comment below and we'll try to, you know, do it again on another video. This is something that, again, we'll have to revisit a couple of times to kind of see what you guys want to see. I didn't know myself, but again, I don't care that much about this feature. I don't plan on using this, you know, offset too often. The one time I did want to, like, really wanted it to see it do something was when we pulled that really dark roast and I wanted to get rid of the little bit of bitterness and I wanted to do the temperature offset at a minus. But I think when you go minus, like, you know, not much is happening. So let me put it back to 0, pull another shot and see what happens. Okay, so I'm getting back in there. I'm gonna turn off this offset thing. Did I go past it? Okay, here we go. Okay, I think I just went past it. Okay, let's go back to 0. Okay, there we go. It's at 0. Okay, machine is set at 95. So again, if you're pulling a shot at 95, don't think that the water is coming out at 95 degrees. That's not happening. So let's go again. Now there's no temperature offset. I have a feeling we're still gonna be like the last shot, like around 80. And again, that's why I tell you guys that this whole process is very dynamic, because it has to deal with all this stuff getting hot and being at a certain temperature. And the more shots we pull, the more hot water runs through this thing, and the closer and closer it's gonna get to 95. So yeah, you know, don't expect it to be, this is a very dynamic thing, and it's not, like a thermal block machine that is kind of heating the water as it runs through it. And I imagine it, you know, we gotta maybe do that test on the infuser and see what happens. But I have a feeling it's gonna be more accurate as far as that. Let's see, let's try this here now. All right, here we go. Let's see what we get now. You know, here I was like timing things on the scale when I have a timer right there. What am I, you know, I'm lost today. What's going on here? Okay, where are we at? Why am I in Fahrenheit all of a sudden? Here we go. Okay, so we were like around 80. Now we're still around 80. It has, you could see the machine has gotten more and more temperature. As a matter of fact, the longer it runs, you see it ticking up. It's still, and as time goes, I have a feeling it will get closer and closer to that 95 temperature. But we're at 80. I mean, 70, like 79. Okay, so if I were to go with the Brew, you know what? Let's do one more time, just to be extra careful. We're gonna do that minus again. So right now we were like 79, 80. Let's see. What was I thinking about? Using the scale to time? Oh my Lord. I take a week off, I go to Chicago, I come back and I don't know how to brew anymore. Okay, so allow it a few seconds to be ready. All right, let's try the temperature offset again. Okay, here we go. Here, now minus. I hope I'm not blocking. I don't know what's the best way of doing this so you guys could see it. Okay, so again, minus 25. So we were 79.80. Let's see what we get now. Do another 30 seconds at a minus 25. Now, when we go plus, it did seem to make a difference. You know, we went up by like 6 degrees, 7 degrees, whatever it was. I don't, I'll put it here on the screen. All right, so let's do the minus again. Now, I think this one is the one that you're not gonna see much difference. We're still gonna be somewhere around 79. At least that's what I'm thinking, but let's see. As a matter of fact, it's even hotter. Although we're at a minus 25. Why? I think just because, again, more and more water's running through the group head. Is, you know, the bulk of all the volume of water in there is right around 95. So, I mean, we're already 40 seconds, guys. We're at 80. It's like nothing's happening. When you go minus, nothing happens, pretty much. Look at it, we're still like around 80. Okay, let's stop it there. It's almost been running for like a minute. Don't expect too much change if you go to minus. Look, I'm running out of water and I had it full all the way to the top when I started this video. Because I knew we were gonna be doing a lot of, you know, a lot of this kind of thing, you know. So, all right, let me put some water in the tank. I'm gonna go to the plus again. We're gonna do it just one more time. Okay, so this should be the last test. Okay, let's try one more time. I'm gonna set the Brew temperature offset to the plus 25 again and see if we see again like 7 degree change going up. Now, being that I added cold water in the machine, you know, maybe again we'll be back in the 70s, maybe mid to upper 70s. And you saw as you pull more and more and more shots, you start getting into the 80s and so on and so forth. Again, if you have this thing on the whole day, you'll probably be at 95, and then it's just really steady there. That's one of the pluses of the E61 group, you know. But okay, let's go ahead and set this thing back up. Brew temperature offset. Okay, we were at a minus 25. Okay, we're gonna go back to plus 25. Okay, plus 25. After this, I'll put it back at 0. Another thing I wanted to mention, guys, this time when I did the job of lubricating the brew lever handle, by the way, I have a longer video talking about, you know, the whole process. I recorded a video how to take this whole thing up and apart and lubricate it. It's not difficult. Well, this time, I gotta say, this time it only took me 15 minutes. Okay, I removed the screw, I took out the handle, I removed this piece. You just put a wrench to this part here and, you know, remove this. But I left the shaft in place. Okay, and then I used a Q-tip with some of the grease on it, and I dabbed it on there where it needs to go. I moved the lever back and forth a couple of times, and it did the job. And again, if you do it that way, it's maybe 15 minutes. If you have to remove the bottom, okay, with a little practice, it should take you maybe 25 minutes. So overall, I mean, this job should not take you more than 30 minutes, even if you have to remove everything and go through the whole thing. It's like a 30-minute job, okay? It shouldn't take you longer than that. But if you want a shortcut, and you could just remove this and leave the shaft in place, because if you pull it out, that's when you have to take off the bottom piece. So, you know, I just dabbed it on there with a Q-tip. I added some lubricant, moved it around, and, you know, now it's good to go. All right, let's do this one last test. Okay, let me lock the focus back on there, and let's see if we can get a change. Again, what we're looking for mainly is the change. I know maybe we'll be below 80 as far as the water temperature coming out, but we'll see if we can go maybe from, like, let's say 78 to maybe like 83, or that's you know, in a minute to get 5 extra degrees. You know, it's got a little bit meaningful, more than I thought was gonna happen. So, okay, let's see. Paddles open. Let's see what we get. Okay, so again, you see we're in like the upper 70s, just like when I first ran it and the machine was cold, because again, I added the cold water. Everything has to get hot again. Again, I told you guys, this is just like a very dynamic process. You know, there's just a lot going on. It's not gonna be exact temperatures. Okay, so we're at 30 seconds. We're starting to creep up. I think this cold water, again, the water was from the refrigerator. Okay, so we're not getting a lot of a difference there. Not this time. Last time it looked like we did get a good difference, but this time we're still right around 77, 78. You know, maybe if you kept running this thing for another, you know, few minutes, it'll go up 5-6 degrees. It looks like sometimes, depending, if everything is really hot already, really hot, and I didn't just add cold water, perhaps you could get, again, like we saw previously, like a 4 or 5 degree change, and that's kind of meaningful. But don't expect that every time. Depending on what's going on and the dynamics of this whole entire thing, you'll get more of a change or less of a change, or maybe no change. It depends. It's just a lot going on. So hopefully this helps a little bit and answers a few questions. If you guys want me to revisit some of this and talk about it again, let me know exactly what and what should we check for. Oh, by the way, the water from the steam boiler is way hotter, way hotter. So you guys saw we were around 80 degrees right now. Let's get some water from here and let's check that. The pitcher where I filter the water for the machine, I'm still using the same method for my water as I've had since the beginning. I use a Brita filter that's kept in the refrigerator, and then from the Brita filter to that Penguin filter or whatever that thing was called, I have a whole video talking about water and what do I do about filtering the water. If you want to see that video, leave me a comment below. I'll give you the link to the video. But okay, so it goes from one pitcher to the other one. They're both kept inside the refrigerator. So, and then from there it goes into the Bianca, and the Bianca has a proper filter as well to soften the water. So both the Penguin filter and the filter in the Bianca, they're both designed to remove calcium from the water And as long as you stay on top of your filter changes and you're, changing them depending on your usage, you're changing them periodically, you shouldn't in theory, you shouldn't run into problems. But we'll see moving forward. I mean, that's what I've been doing since the beginning. I've had my machine for a while, and so far, so good. But again, calcium buildup is something that takes a long time. So we'll see moving forward if I run into issues or not or whatever. I'm just gonna keep filtering my water in that fashion. Okay, so let's see what we get from here. But this is gonna be way hotter. Okay, this thing is already jumping to almost boiling. Okay, I'm gonna stop running it, but this will get quickly to boiling temperature. I mean, that water is gonna hit 100 very soon. So yeah, this steam boiler, it's way hotter though. In order to build steam, you need that, that pressure in there and the temperature, and you'll get the good steaming from the machine. So, but yeah, this one is way hotter than that one, and you can control. You saw it was set, I think, at 125, so beyond boiling, but that's because you have pressure. When you are dealing in a pressurized system, you can get the water to be above 100. Normally, like in an open air environment, that'll never happen because the water starts to agitate and evaporate, and it'll never pass 100 degrees. But in a pressurized system, you could get it to higher than 100. At least that's my understanding. Okay, I'm not a scientist, but I think that's how it works. I'm going with that. Comment below if you think otherwise. You guys saw a little bit overview. We talked again about lubricating this thing and how I did it this time, right? I left the shaft in place and I put some lubricant on a Q-tip and reached in there and took care of it that way. So hopefully this explains a little bit as far as temperatures and all that. Let me set things up. Let me start the lighting and all the stuff, and then we'll pull a shot of espresso. All right, guys, so once again, I'm gonna have to split up another video. Sorry about that. We'll continue with the story on next week's video. You guys are gonna see me pull a shot of this coffee here. I'm gonna show you, and we're gonna unbox the Gemini Coffee Tools puck screen that they sent me. We're gonna talk more about the show in Chicago. I'm gonna show you guys the whole entire clip from us visiting with the Flair crew and what happened there with the Flair team. That was a lot of fun. So all of that will be on next week's video. But for now, since I want there to be coffee brewing on every video, we're gonna pull a shot in a second. I'm gonna try this geisha. Oh, whoa. Okay, I'm gonna try this geisha from Good Brothers. I had ordered this a little while back and I still haven't opened it. So we'll go ahead and dial this in and open it. Right now I'm running out of light roast to have in the mornings, and I definitely look forward to enjoying this as pour over. So I'll report back as to that to you guys. But today we're gonna pull a shot of espresso with it. I see some fruits painted here. I haven't read the tasting notes. I don't remember what they are at all. I'll guess at them. Based on the picture, I would say it's gonna be a fruity coffee. I know it's a geisha. I remember that's the reason why I ordered it. So I haven't forgotten about that. I wanna try another geisha. All right, but before we do all of that, I did forget to mention one thing when we were testing the temperatures. Somebody had asked me about the steam boiler. How hot does it get? What are the settings for the steam boiler? The steam boiler comes set from factory at 125 degrees, and you can go plus or minus 10 degrees. So that means you can go to 135 or you can go down to 115. That's the range for the steam boiler. Now, why would you touch that? I don't know. Some people are impatient. They want to steam their milk as quickly as possible. If you want to do latte art, it kind of helps that you have like a little bit more time for steaming. It just gives you more time to get things right. Okay, so I have never played with changing the temperature, but that is the range. If you want to change it, that's what it is. And to recap on the whole, brew temperature offset settings, in theory, you guys saw my first video. In theory, that's what they want to be able to accomplish. They want you to be able to do some kind of like temperature profiling in your shots. So for the water to get hotter or cooler as the shot is pulling. But, as you guys saw, you know, in 30 seconds, maybe even in a minute, there's just not enough time for you to change the temperature of the whole entire group head and all that metal and all that stuff. It's just not gonna happen. Depending on the scenario, you can expect maybe a plus or minus 1 or 2 degrees. You guys saw one of the shots actually went up by 5 or 6 degrees. And you know, I think that had very little to do with the brew temperature offset itself. I think most likely what happened is that just as more and more water, even if I would not have set that brew temperature offset at a plus 25, just the fact that the water was coming out, the group is going to increase in temperature. The water is just going to get hotter. You know, I think that would have happened anyway. Maybe the fact that we set the brew temperature offset at a plus 25, it helped it along. Maybe we got another extra couple degrees, maybe, or who knows. So maybe when you set it at a plus, and you might as well just set it all the way up to a plus 25 if you want to see any change. So set it all the way up, let it run, and maybe your shot will get a little bit hotter as it goes. As you guys saw, that by lowering the temperature on the brew temperature offset, it makes practically no difference. I don't see how, you know, that would, I mean, in theory, you could take maybe some cold water from the tank and like, I just don't see it, man. I don't see it happening. So yeah, you know what? I don't think that the brew temperature offset does much of anything, but you know, experiment with it, try it out. All right, but now let's take it over to, you know, if you guys want to know anything or want me to test anything else in regards to temperatures and stuff like that, leave the comment below. We'll do another experiment here later on in the videos. And moving forward, I already told you guys we are going to be, I'm going to show you guys some more clips and some more little stories from our visit to the Coffee Expo there in Chicago. We'll keep going with that. I think for now, there's not much else to talk about here. Let's just take it over to the other counter and pull a shot of the geisha and see what we get. All right, guys, we're gonna try to dial in this geisha coffee from Good Brothers. Let's open it up. First, we're gonna have to open it up and take a look at the roast level. So let's take a look at what this is. Now, being that a geisha is somewhat of a delicate kind of flavor coffee, I doubt it is gonna be very dark at all. It should be, I know Good Brothers doesn't go like super light, and it's actually something I appreciate, because I have been noticing that when coffees are like extremely light, you know, it's not my cup of tea, okay? Let's just say, I can do that sometimes. But there are some coffees that I can definitely do that, but for the most part, I like something a little bit more developed. That's gonna be a little bit punchier, accentuate the flavors a little bit more. So let's see what this is, but I imagine it's gonna be medium to light. I don't wanna read the bag because I will be guessing at the tasting notes, although from the pictures, I imagine it being fruity and, well, you know, you guys know, I've already had geisha a couple times, and you know, they were very similar and I was able to pick that out. So if this follows suit to the other two coffees, then I imagine it being maybe a little bit floral, fruity, very delicate in flavor, just very tasty. Nice balance between the acidity and sweetness as well. So let's see, let's take a look at the roast level. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, this is definitely a medium to light. Okay, let me turn on the lights and then I'll show it to you guys. Okay, there you see it on the video. Definitely in person, I think it looks even lighter than it looks on the screen. I will take a picture and put it right here so you guys could take a good look at it. Okay, so there you guys see it. Definitely a medium to light. And wow, I can't wait to taste this. Okay, you know, I'm having second thoughts as to the grind size I wanted to use. I had the niche zero set at 14. But being that this coffee is so light, lately, some settings between 13 and 14 is what's been working well for those Slayer shots I like doing. I'm gonna bring it down to 13 for this particular shot, because I think this being this lightly roasted, I think I'll get better results. I definitely want to be pulling the shot for at least a minute, 30-second, long kind of blooming pre-infusion that I like doing, and then 30 seconds at 9 bar, and that's I think that's like at a minimum. So let's see. At least that's what I'm shooting for. Let's see. Let's dose out 18 grams and take it from there. Okay, start the scale. Let me lock in the focus. Okay, focus should be locked there on the dosing cup. Okay, so we're looking for 18 grams. Wouldn't it be something if it's exactly 18 grams what I put here on the counter? What are the chances of that happening? Okay, we are at 15 and a half, 15.5. Whoa, I only needed a little bit. Okay, let's adjust. Oh, okay, I took out this much. It's exactly 18 grams. Okay, I love these bags. You can get a nice seal on there and your beans will stay fresh. I would say at minimum for a month. You shouldn't have any problems. Okay, so I see we're between 18 and 18.1. Let's go ahead, we're gonna grind at 13. All right, so we're set right there at 13 on the niche 0. Guys, I'm ready to record the video as to the comparison for the brew bursts of the niche duo versus the niche 0 and see if I could taste a difference. I'm ready to record that. The coffee is dialed in. All I have to do is brew at the same time, make a brew from each grinder and see if I could taste a difference. We'll see. That's definitely gonna be the next video I'm gonna record. Okay, here we go. Oh, they're fighters. Okay, let's see. Okay, we got everything. Give it a few taps. Let's see if we're at 18. Last time we had retention, but it was because I had just cleaned out the grinder. And as a matter of fact, it's still possible that we'll get some retention in the next couple of times I grind. But as you could see there, we're between 17.8 and 17.9. That's close enough. Let's do some puck prep. Okay, first we'll fluff this up with the thick needles. Wow, this coffee is, smells lovely. Smells lovely. Can't wait to try it. So definitely tomorrow morning, I'll make a pour over of this. I'll report back to you guys as to, how much I liked it. Okay, perfect. Let me readjust and bring you guys in a little bit closer for the rest of the puck prep. All right, right there should be good. Dosing ring or dosing funnel. You can call it either way. And this is my WDT tool from Passato. I still got to talk to you guys about what went on there with the with the Passato team. With the actual Mr. Passato. Okay, WDT, just take your time. If you do it right, you should be able to avoid channeling, especially with these kind of longer shots. If you pull a shot that is comes out extremely fast, one of those soupy shots that people like doing nowadays, I don't see why, but People enjoy them. You know, you're likely to get some channeling when that happens, but with these kind of like longer shots, you know, channeling has not been an issue. Okay, today I'm gonna try tamping again with the Pasado tamper, see if I improve my technique. Okay, and it's off like usual. Man. Okay, is it straight? I think so. Okay, I think we're good there. I'll take a look right now visually. Okay, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. I gotta say, I could have done a better job, but man, that's the thing with the Pasado tamper. You know, I still can't get that one right. All right, we're gonna try the puck screen. I haven't unboxed it yet, and I'm showing it to you guys. Okay, you know, this made it onto the first part of this video, but we actually unboxed this on the next part, so come back next week to see the unboxing of this. All right, so here we go. This is the puck screen that Gemini Coffee Tools sent me. But first, coffee, words to live by. Okay, let's lock in and pull a shot and see what we get from this geisha. All right, so we have all the cameras running. We should be all set here. You know, guys, my whole objective here with my little channel is just, you know, I enjoy making the content, first of all. If not, I wouldn't be doing it. But I really like sharing the experiences with you guys here in this coffee hobby. I love the interaction we have below in the comments, and I learn from you guys a whole bunch. And hopefully I can keep you company for an hour or so every Sunday morning. You know, there's really not much else to it. You know, it's just sharing our experiences together here in the wonderful world of coffee. You know, whenever I get a new coffee, I always show it to you guys. I give you my opinion. We have a little bit of fun with it. When I get new equipment, obviously I will review it and show it to you guys and tell you what I think. So, all right, today we're gonna be on the Akaya. Okay, here we go. We're gonna go for that Slayer shot as usual. Oh, I see my camera here. Okay, that's odd. It lost focus. All right, guys, give me a second. I know you're not seeing that yet, but I have all the cameras running. It should be back onto the bottom of the portafilter here. Okay, I think we're all good to go here. Let's get the shot glass up here. Now, because of the distance between the bottom of the portafilter and the glass, there's always a little bit of splashing happening. So it's just, I just have to deal with it. If not, I can't give you guys that nice angle from below. So, all right, so for these Slayer shots, I always start with the paddle at 5 o'clock. I'm gonna start the shot, and when it starts to build pressure, the whole point is to kind of hold the pressure between 2 and 3 bar. And you hold it there for like, you can try 20 seconds or 30 seconds. The whole idea on the Slayer shot is to kind of divide the total shot time half and half. Half with your like pre-infusion, blooming kind of stage, and then half at 9 bar. That's the kind of objective. You can also try like 20-second, pre-infusion, and then 30 seconds of 9 bars, or, you know, just experiment, okay? But that's kind of like the idea. Now, while you're doing your initial pre-infusion, ideally you want to get a few drops into the shot glass, but no more than maybe like 2 grams max, okay? 2 grams is kind of like max. If the shot is running kind of faster than that, perhaps you need to grind finer, and it's not ideal for your Slayer shot, okay? So, you know, if you get, let's say, you know, 1 gram, okay, in your first 30 seconds of pre-infusion, and then you ramp up to 9 bars, you pull the rest of your shot. I do a 1 to 2.5, so 18 grams in, 45 grams out, and you manage to do that in a total of a minute. That's kind of like an ideal Slayer shot. So let's see how close we get today. Again, I have no idea as to where to grind this coffee. I'm just going by, you know, experience as to what has worked previously. So, all right, let's go. Let's see, when we start building pressure, then we we'll close the paddle here and kind of level it off somewhere around 2.5. Okay. All right, we're right there, 2.5 bar. So at 30 seconds, I'm gonna ramp up regardless of what happens here. If it was coming out like really fast, I would have just ramped up, because again, you don't want to get more than maybe 2 grams. And you see, we're about to hit 1 gram. This is perfect. This so far is picture perfect. Okay, I overshot the 9 bar a little bit, so I made that little mistake. I want to level it off there. Wow, that smells great, guys. My goodness. Okay, so the total shot time should be around a minute. Let's see how close we get. I think we're gonna overshoot that. Puck integrity is holding like perfectly. Look at that, the needle's not even moving. Okay, definitely we're gonna go over that. But again, if it's a lighter roast coffee, you know, a lot of times it's gonna be perfect for what I like. Okay, we're about to hit it. Let's see. Okay, I stopped it a little early. I'm at 43 grams in 54 seconds since first drip, 75 seconds overall. So obviously I went over by about 15 seconds. That will make a difference on a shot. That's quite a bit. But on these lighter roast coffees, I doubt it is gonna taste over extracted. It should be awesome. But I will make a note of it, and next time I'll try, you know, maybe at 14. Like I had it set at 14, but then I overthought the whole situation, knowing that this is a lighter roast coffee. You know, I went down to 13. Now, another thing is that usually puck integrity doesn't hold up this well. You know, it starts to deteriorate, and the coffee will flow a lot faster in the second, like let's say the second half of the shot. But in this case, it held very good puck integrity. Let me stop this camera. Okay, let's swirl it, taste it. If it doesn't taste good, we'll pull another one, but I have a feeling this is gonna be perfect. I mean, it smells great. Again, because it's a light roast, you know, the shot probably was not as pretty as when you pull a shot with a darker roast coffee. The crema is not as beautiful. Okay, let's see. Oh, wow, this. Okay, right away, the aroma, very nice. I mean, you know, these geishas, man, you will, you know, if you get some geishas and try them, it's funny how you learn to recognize them. I mean, there's nothing special about my taste buds either. I mean, they're not broken, but they're also nothing special. I'm just an average dude. But if I can recognize them, so will you. You just have to practice, develop your taste buds a little bit, and you'll be there. You know, I've been at the whole coffee thing for maybe like 5 years now, maybe 6 years. I started making videos, like coffee videos, maybe like 2 years ago. But at first I was not like consistent. I just made a couple videos when I would get equipment. But now I've been consistent with the coffee videos for, you know, well over a year. You know, time flies. Maybe it's been even longer than that. I'm saying, like, it could be a lot longer than that, guys. Time does fly. But this shot is wonderful. All right, let's take it over to the other counter and talk a little bit more about it. All right, cheers. I hope you guys brewed something tasty to follow along here in the adventure. So what do I get from the tasting notes? You know, I can't wait to try it as pour over, but as espresso, of course, you have a lot more intensity. The flavor is not quite as delicate as you would get from a pour over, but it's definitely still like the balance between the sweetness and acidity is very well balanced. It's not overly. It doesn't have like a ton of acidity, Yeah, the acidity is definitely very well under control, very well balanced with the sweetness. Tasty notes. I would say a little bit of honey. I will attribute the sweetness to maybe like a honey flavor. That tartness or the acidity, you know, it's like berryness type acidity, and not citrus. You know how we've gotten before red currant? You know, I would see something like that, like a red currant. Definitely that floral quality, you do have it. You always kind of have that in the aroma. So yeah, there is okay. Also like wine, like a wininess to it. You know, that's very common thing to happen in coffees. A lot of them, you know, they will give you that, like, you know, like a winey kind of taste. It's a nice geisha. I can't wait to try it as pour over. Let's see what the tasty notes are on the bag. I don't remember at all from when I purchased it. I've had this coffee here in the house for quite a while already. It says apricot, green, grape, and honey. They actually put honey, I can't believe that. But yeah, apricot, I'm not getting that at all. As a matter of fact, I'm getting more like a tartness, like grapes, and again, the wininess. So, okay, the wininess, grapes, you know, okay, I could definitely see that. As far as the apricot, you know, I'm not getting that at all. And the honey, I guess I did pretty well. You know, I would definitely, as for the descriptors, at least for espresso and at least the way I pull the shot right now, maybe I should try pulling like a more standard shot and faster shot and see what happens. I'll report back to you guys, but definitely the way I pull the shot, you have more like berries, more like that tartness, like again, like the times we've gotten the red currant, more something like that. There is the wininess, so I could see grapes, you know, I could see like grapes, and then honey. That was the very first thing I said, I think, because of the sweetness. Definitely the Slayer shot will always get your shots sweeter. If you pull this as a faster shot, I have a feeling like that brightness and acidity is gonna get like too much for me. But you know, I like to experiment. Maybe it's something I should try. And definitely tomorrow I'll try it as pour over and report back to you guys. So anyway, I don't want this video to get like super long. And it already, I know it's gonna end up being, this one's gonna end up like at an hour probably. And next week's video will probably be shorter, maybe like 40 minutes, something like that. That's what I'm thinking. But anyway, guys, moving forward, I'll show you guys more from the Specialty Coffee Association Expo in Chicago, and a little bit more of our experience out there. We visited a couple of coffee shops. I'll show you some of that. I'll show you some pictures, some more of the booths that we visited, and some of the conversations that went on. And like I said, I highly recommend it. It was awesome. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoy your time here with me today. I hope you brewed something tasty. Sad to see you go, buddy. Anyway, I hope I was able to keep you company for a little while. You guys know that I appreciate you guys a whole bunch. My little coffee family here on YouTube. Leave me a comment below. I love sharing with you guys, and you know, that's what I do this for. I do it for the engagement with you guys and getting to know some of you guys. That's pretty awesome. As a matter of fact, well, by the time you see this, I probably already had that conversation and maybe even recorded a video as to programming a profile into the Bianca and kind of automating the process. It's not something I want to do for myself. I don't want to I like doing my manual shots, okay? I want to keep doing manual shots, but I do want to show you guys how to, and learn myself. I've never tried it, but learn how to program a profile onto the Bianca, and Wojtek sent me a profile like way back. I mean, this happened like months and months ago. But I'm gonna reach out to Wojtek, and, or maybe if you watch this video, comment below with that profile that you wanted me to program into the Bianca. Oh no, that's right, because yeah, if I wait that long, then it'll be another couple months before, no, I'll reach out to you, buddy. All right, but anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys a whole bunch. Leave me a comment, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys next week. All right, guys, bonus clip. So I'm on the GoPro because it's just the quickest way to do this. But you know, after I finished recording just now, I said, you know, I want another shot. And again, I don't want the video to get super long, so I didn't record it for you guys, but I am gonna tell you what happened. All right, here's the shot, okay? I put it in one of these cups because I wanna make a cappuccino. Usually I don't use light roast, like, you know, not this light for milk-based drinks, but since I wanted to see what would happen if I would speed up the shot a bit. We were at grind size 13, I went to 14 and a half. And at 14 and a half, I was able to get exactly what I was looking for. Overall, it was a 63-second shot, so just over the 60 seconds. But my pre-infusion was only 20 seconds. So at 9 bars, I was for 40 seconds. And I got a few drips. I probably had just over a gram when I started to ramp up at 20 seconds. But I do have to say the faster shot is definitely better, okay? This one is even more balanced. Yeah, this one is even more balanced. I wouldn't say it's sweeter, but it definitely took some of the edge off of it. You know, this one is better for sure. Now, if I keep speeding it up, will it get better and better? Well, again, you know, it's one of those things you have to experiment with. But you know, I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong, okay? So the longer shots don't always work on your favor. With this particular coffee, this is definitely better. I don't know what would happen if I keep speeding it up, but right now, well, that's why I'm grabbing this clip, because full transparency, okay? This one, definitely better. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna still make a cappuccino. I'm gonna save some of it. I wanna make a cappuccino. Cheers, I'll see you guys next time.